MC Mikey. MC
What up, everybody? Welcome to Overtime with Naz. It's your boy Nastradamus, and tonight I got the silverback with a silverback, Gorilla Joe. Welcome, Gorilla Joe.
What up? What it do, bitches?
And of course, with me is the very talented, the very beautiful, yes, I'm sucking up majorly, Scarlett.
Hola.
And she's bilingual. And tonight, we are talking about nostalgia and the good and the bad that comes with it. And what you just heard was MC Mikey from the newly released #1 movie in the world to all you haters out there, Ninja Turtles. Joe. Joe.
Yeah.
What do you have to say about this movie?
Well, this particular film, which has been recently released about a week ago, I would say is the shit. And I love it. It's fucking just, it was just perfect for me. Like, the only beef I have to say is I wish it was a little bit longer.
Yes.
Other than that, it's gold, nigga. That shit is gold. If you don't like it, punch yourself in the taint.
Damn,
fucking
taint?
Yeah, nigga, jump on a fence post or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's kind of messed up because the taint is like, if you punch the taint, you're hurting the asshole and your private part.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say the balls, but you know, if it's a woman, then it's the vagina. If you get punched in the vagina, does that hurt?
It doesn't. You have to hit the right spot.
That's what they all say.
I never heard that before.
Every girl always argue you ain't hitting the right spot. Some bullshit. Now, all right. So back to TMNT. All right, this movie, I not exactly had like high expectations. I had some good expectations though. Like, it's gonna be fun. Like, I'm gonna enjoy it. You know, the more thing they showed, the more I'm like, oh, this is turning out to be really well. I too kind of was iffy with the new look, but it grew on me, especially when I saw them as action figures.
Exactly.
I started to see the detail in each character, how what they had defined them. You know, they weren't just separated by a different green color scheme or their bandana. They were separated by true individuality. Each person had something of theirs. Leo was always supposed to be the leader type who believed in the way of the samurai and whatnot. That's why he has that samurai gear on. That looks freaking awesome. Donnie was always the high-tech one, and my favorite, and he has that cool gear on. You know, he has the high-tech backpack, those shades that can do anything.
Yeah, the little arm thing where he can, you know, get Google Maps and shit.
Yeah. It looked like the Nintendo Power Glove.
It did. It probably was.
It probably was. And he just needed Jarvis when he saw stuff.
Oh, hell yeah.
Ralphie was, you know, the brute force, the tough guy. You could tell that he had damage on his face and his gear. He was just...
No, he wasn't just that. That nigga was amped. Like, he was bigger than fucking, like, Vin Diesel and The Rock combined. Like, that motherfucker just bench presses trucks. And the do-rag, that motherfucker had a do-rag on, and a toothpick. I was like, I'm sold. Ralphie looked like the shit.
The toothpick drive.
How did he get in?
I wanted to know that too. How did he get in the fan?
Easy. He's a ninja.
Nigga's a ninja.
He's a ninja. Alright, and Mikey. Mikey had like so much to define himself, especially the fact that he's the one turtle that actually had sneakers, yo, custom made.
He has to. He's got to help his rap career.
Yeah, that was funny. You can't quit.
You have to finish a Christmas mix.
Yo, and Splinter was really dope in this one.
Oh man, whooping motherfucker's ass with his tail. Not to
Yes.
spoil some shit, but
I'm sorry, it's probably major spoilers, but for the majority of people, they don't give a fuck about this movie. And I'm not a big guy on spoilers, but if there's one thing that should sell you on this, it's like when Attack of the Clones came out, you're like, Yoda finally fights. Splinter finally really gets down.
now you see why he's the a master, like technically a ninja master, and not only that, he's their mentor and their father, and that came through. They really scared of getting an ass whooping from him.
Oh yeah. Especially when they snuck in.
Woo! Gonna bribe a motherfucker with some 100 cheese. 99. I'm sorry.
He was like, it has provolone and this and this and that. He's like,
I don't know what that is.
dude, there was like so many nods to the original Turtles.
Yeah, what were you saying? Didn't you say yesterday about with somebody else who were talking about when they're on the rooftop and they jump down?
Yeah, it was me.
And they jump, and they jump perfectly down through the suits. I was like, yeah, that was from the cartoon. That was perfect.
That was perfect. Like each spot they were in and the moon in the background, it was like literally the freaking cartoon brought to life.
Amazing.
It was awesome. I think even the first time Ralph showed himself when April O'Neil catches him, his eyes were white, right?
That I don't remember.
I think so because I know LP said like, "Yo, you saw it? His eyes were white." Because she just see a shadow, and you just see the shadow, and then he looks,
Oh, I know you talking about. Yeah.
and his
He
eyes were
looked
white.
fucking
Kind of like
trippy.
a nod to the comic book Turtles.
No, it was like, it was so great. And don't get me wrong, I love the one from the 80s. I love it.
Of course.
And I watch it all day. That third one was meh, but yeah. But the original was great. It's technically one of the highest grossing independent films of all time. But this new one, it has so many nods to different, mediums like that, like the comics and the cartoon and some like the original movie, and then like even jokes within themselves, like the joke about them being aliens from outer space. They said, "Oh, that's stupid," which is just a pun to when they were looking at Michael Bay directing it, which he did not, making them aliens, which that didn't happen because the fans got an uproar, and they put that in the movie as a joke.
Yep.
So I thought that was awesome.
No fucks given in that part.
Yep.
And man, I want to say stuff without giving anything away, but there was that moment. Fuck it. There was that moment where
Fuck all
damn.
y'all.
there's that moment when the slice of pizza fall on Splinter's head. Come on.
Oh, that was the perfect like nod to the original movie.
Yes.
It was the same like thing. And I was waiting for him to even say the same shit. Kids.
And yo, that was Monk who was Splinter. He did a good job.
What?
Yeah, Tony Shalhoub.
Wow. No, he was
Did a
fucking
good job.
great.
That scene where it gets greasy and you're like, oh no, and Shredder is fighting against Splinter. Did you not worry for his life?
I was shit
Yeah.
for a minute. Yeah, that was trippy. Like Splinter was he was like not Splinter, Shredder. Shredder was like Super Shredder on crack with a transformer.
In an Iron Man suit.
The Iron Man. And he had sex with Thor, and that was their baby.
And it was the emotion. The thing that really sold me on this was that freaking Turtles connection, the emotion. Like you got that family vibe from all of them, and that brotherly connection. You know that they.
Oh yeah.
The MC Mikey part right there, like I said, defines the movie perfectly. Of why it's true to the Turtles. That right there, that didn't need to happen at all. You know.
No, and the fact that they put that in there means that they care about these characters, they cared about the story, and they cared about what the fans thought.
Mm-hmm.
They cared enough to the changes that they want to make. They reverted them back to the original. They wanted to keep it true, and they did. And the family aspect is all throughout the entire movie. Like, even when they're not getting along and they're arguing, anybody that's got, siblings and shit, that's what it's like. Y'all beef is like that, but it don't mean that y'all don't love each other. You still love them, but you don't like them right now.
Yeah. That's dope. Excuse me. Yeah, and oh man, they were just cracking jokes on each other, and their vibe was, when things got serious, they were serious, but they were still the teenage turtles,
Yeah.
They were still very funny, and I like it. It has those oh my god, all those nods. Like, remember how every turtle movie, Ralphie gets fucked up?
Yep. Yep.
And this one felt like it was gonna lean towards that, but they flipped the script on it.
Yep.
It was,
motherfucker was the hero.
yeah, and they had my boy Donnie shine when he said, "Hey, let me be the badass this time."
Oh man, and he did some fucking G shit. This motherfucker.
When he laughed.
I love it. And then, yeah, because, Donnie's this nerd. I was like, no, you forget that nigga can fight.
That nigga can fight, dude. Donnie is my boy. I love him to death.
There's that shit where there's like all them dudes shooting the trank darts at him, and he blocked every goddamn one of them with the bow staff.
Mm-hmm. That's my nigga. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening, I'm very sorry. I mean, we're not really giving anything away plot-wise, just like little minor things. But I'm just trying to... I'm really just trying to sell this, because usually I don't sell something that I don't love. And the fact that I don't really need to sell Guardians of the Galaxy. That thing sells itself.
Shit.
That movie sold itself from day one that they fucking mentioned it.
That movie makes me want to rub applesauce on my nipple.
Yeah, I could just say Guardians of the Galaxy, and they just got like 20,000 more views.
Oh my god, they made so much goddamn money.
It did, because it's so damn good. It sells
It's so
itself,
good.
and it had...
It's one of those movies you just immediately want to like rewind that bitch and watch it again.
Yes, it had major support from day one, but TMNT did not have major support from day one, and it needs more selling, and clips are sold it. I didn't watch many clips because to me it was already sold. TMNT from day one. I was like, I'm there, I'm gonna see it, I don't give a shit, I'm gonna give it a try. But I skipped out on the clips because I didn't want it to ruin it for myself, and that's good because when I went to see the movie, I loved it. And I saw you put up that elevator scene. I try not to see it, and then someone posted it on Instagram. I was like, man, fuck it, let me just see the scene. And when I saw that scene, I was like, man, I really want to see it now. It's like, I already wanted to see it 90%. That scene just boosted that other 10% and made me go 100. And I had to see it like right away. And once I saw the movie, dude, all of us, we were like, this is fucking awesome. We're having a great time. This is funny. This is action packed. Like, we didn't want it to end.
Nah, and that's what I'm saying about I wish it was longer because it's so goddamn good. And I'm like you, I wanted to see it from day one, but I didn't know it was gonna be that good.
Yeah.
And there's a couple points that I want to clarify as far as like the haters and the hipsters and shit that won't shut the fuck up. First of all, motherfuckers, Michael Bay didn't direct this goddamn movie, so shut up. Jonathan Lipsman did, and that dude's the shit. Give him some goddamn credit. This movie's amazing. He worked his ass off. Michael Bay, he worked his ass off as a producer. He helped him fund it. You can tell there's some Michael Bay-esque things in there, like the slow-mo and stuff like that. But it's a Jonathan Lipsman movie. Give that motherfucker some credit. So shut up about the Michael Bay shit. The other one is the shit about every bitch about Megan Fox. She did a fucking badass job. She sold it. I didn't see Megan Fox. I saw fucking April O'Neil. And the fact that I heard that she petitioned to be in this movie and she's like a big fan, Not only that, she's like apparently like a nerd herself.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's pretty geeky, and she fought for this movie, and she did a damn good job. So everybody can shut the fuck up about Megan Fox. And the way that they look, motherfucker, they look like turtles. If you mutate a turtle's all big, that's how they look. If you look at their face, it look like a turtle. Everybody's all mad about nostalgia. That's not how they look back in the day. Nigga, it's 20 years from then. This new shit. Step up to the new shit. This is how they look now. They look great. They make you want to like go work out and shit.
Make you want to be Ralph.
Yeah. I love it. And if you ain't seen it yet, like I said, punch yourself in the taint.
Punch yourself in the taint. I wanted to touch upon other things. You know what I was really happy? Because one thing that I had a little gripe with, and I was just going to deal with it, was when I read it, they say they casted that one dude that we all know and seen everywhere as Shredder.
Yeah.
And he didn't end up being Shredder.
William Fichtner?
Yeah, he didn't end up being Shredder.
No, and he's a great actor anyway, but I wanted, the originality of, Shredder to be himself, not some white dude. And yeah, he's not. Shredder is Shredder. It's, what's his name?
Orokusaki.
Yes. And that motherfucker, I ain't gonna lie, I'll admit it, that motherfucker put me in bitch mode. Like, he's intimidating as fuck.
Right? Like,
no, he's scary.
If you put him against the old school Shredder...
Oh, he get his ass whipped.
Yeah.
Orokusaki, nigga?
He gave no fucks. He was fucking up people left and right.
And it wasn't like, you see somebody get their ass whooped in a movie and they just get up and like go back at him. Like, he whoop a motherfucker's ass and they lay on the ground for a second going like, that shit hurt.
Mm-hmm.
That nigga can fight.
And I remember some a review where they said that the action was too choppy and you don't know what's going on. I disagree.
Oh, no.
They had some like Hong Kong martial arts kind of shots where it was like long, medium shot, full bodies, and you saw what the hell was going on.
Especially the I don't want to spoil it, but the hill scene.
Mm-hmm.
The mountain scene,
Oh,
I was just like, I couldn't keep up. There was so much shit going on, and it was so badass, and I was like, I can't believe that this is happening. Like, it's so fucking amazing that they did all of that. And yeah, they could have done, like, what other people do, like with the new Godzilla, how they kept, like, teasing people that there was going to be a monster fight, and then they cut away. I was like, you motherfucker. They could have done shit like that, but they didn't. They showed the full fights from start to end. And then on top of that, there's always some other shit going on simultaneously. So there'd be like 4 different fights going on at the same time.
And I don't get how people complain like there wasn't enough turtles. Like, in the there was a lot of... Once turtles were like officially cemented... It was just turtles all the way from then on.
Like from the first point that April finds them, there was their movie after that.
Mm-hmm.
They was just turtles.
And it doesn't even take that long for them to get to that point. This movie is short. This movie is like the length of what a feature film is, an hour and a half. That's Hollywood's definition of a feature film.
Well, I think what they did, what I think and what I hope happened is that they made it shorter on purpose. That there are more scenes that probably maybe got cut out just for time's sake, because the fact that so many people were bitching about it, and that they want to make it, kind of a tight, packed, badass movie, but shorter, so that people can watch it and go, "Oh, this movie's a shit. I should stop fucking complaining." And then when the DVD and Blu-ray come out, they'll have like the unedited version with extra scenes.
That'd be great, because I always want an unedited version with
everything.
Yeah, more stuff.
Everything.
And I really didn't want it to end, and it's mostly because they were cracking me up. These turtles were cracking me up since the moment they were there. It was just awesome.
Oh, and I was hoping that other people would go see it, and the numbers are showing that. I think it was a little slow at first, but by Monday, I mean, I think they already made back profit.
You know what? We gotta thank the kids though, because it's the kids that are making people going to see it as well. You know, the old people were like, I don't want to see this, but I'm gonna take my kids to go see it.
Yeah.
And every time I read a comment, it's like, hey, I took my kids to see it, and we ended up having a great time.
I was reading about the test audience, and like people that went to the premiere and shit like that. They were leaving in shock that they liked it, and people were going on and posting online like, "This is a fucking dope ass movie." I'm surprised. I didn't think it was gonna be that good. Granted, I don't think people thought it would have been bad, but it blew all expectations.
Yep.
And
there's still
another
people.
bitch point was the shit that it's a Nickelodeon studios. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And people were bitching about that. Oh, I don't want to watch shit from Nickelodeon. I was like, well, it's still Ninja Turtles. I mean, they're not saying, shit and fuck and stuff like that, but I mean, it's gritty. And on top of it, they can still be funny and stuff like that, and comical and fight, dance.
I'm pretty sure those turtles killed a bunch of foot in that movie.
Oh, yeah. Motherfuckers are dead.
They didn't show how they killed them, but they killed a bunch of foot in that movie. And just because of Nickelodeon doesn't mean anything. Disney made the Narnia movies. Do you know how many people...
They got greasy.
You know how many people died in those Narnia movies in the final battles?
Well, technically, Disney be making Marvel movies, and look at the Avengers and how many people died.
Exactly.
Look at Transformers and how many motherfuckers died in those movies, and those are made by Hasbro.
So just because it's a certain production company set to aim at a demographic that is younger doesn't mean anything. I mean, this goes back to my favorite kind of shows, the Power Rangers. Shit get greasy in that shit sometimes too. It's not all just for kids. There's some really adult themes on it, especially since they know that their audience from then are still watching now. But this Turtles was like, it was greedy. It was cartoonish. It was good for kids and adults. When we saw it, everybody was clapping at the end.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody was clapping. They were surprised. Those are people who were surprised. They were clapping at the end.
It was so amped. It did remind me of the Transformers 4, because the new Transformer, they broke out of that formula that they did with the past three movies, and it was different, and it was more grown up.
Yeah.
And it was so just epic.
You saw that one?
Yeah.
I didn't know you saw that one.
You don't know me.
Nigga. So you like Transformers Age of Extinction?
Fuck yeah.
That was the shit, wasn't it?
Optimus Prime riding a dinosaur with a goddamn sword in his hand?
Nigga. And Marky Mark actually doing something besides just running around?
Man, there was so much ass whooping in that movie.
But you know what was cool? How Optimus was so gangster on getting that dinosaur's respect.
Oh, he tamed the shit out that T-Rex. Nigga, I own you, motherfucking ass. And then how he just like dismissed him at the end of the movie. Alright, you can go. We cool.
You better come around when I need your ass again.
I'll kill you, motherfucker.
And the whole plot that they got going on now for the next set of movies, I'm down. Shit. I want to know what's going on.
I'm amazed that they went that route.
Yeah. That shit, dude, they were taking out some characters. I was like, no!
Oh, yeah, and I don't want to ruin that, either spoil that for people who haven't seen it, but it's fucking dark.
Mm-hmm.
And they referred back to the third movie as like a September 11th type of event. Like, because this year is after that, and people are not happy with the Transformers, like, good or bad. Like, they're outlawed. And so it started off rough. And you're like, this shit is sad.
Remember Chicago, yo.
Yeah. Shit's all fucked up.
Remember shit. That's how shit go down in Chicago, man. We just get Transformers fighting each other, people dying.
Fucking Batman.
Batman.
Yep.
Batman, Transformers.
Yeah.
Fucking Superman fighting Zod. That a little bit of that was Chicago
damn.
too.
Yeah. If I ever visit Chicago, I'm gonna have to have a goddamn Pope mobile.
Gotta defend me from all this. But now let's get. I mean, you know, all this stuff we're bringing to the point of the thing at hand, and I know, you know, Turtles has fallen victim to that whole nostalgia thing. You know, it's not like this. They changed this. They changed that. It's not like it used to be. And I feel like the next thing that's gonna fit that freaking what the hell is the prejudice or prosecution or whatever the fuck I'm trying to look for, is gonna be that Power Ranger reboot that I know a lot of people are gonna be like, oh man, but it's not like this, and they don't got these kind of people, and it blah blah blah. Because you know, for Lionsgate to take this one franchise that was really cheesy and aimed to kids and make it a little bit more greedier and darker and aimed to the general public,
Yeah.
you know they're gonna have to make some changes.
Well, I mean, I know they're not going to use the original cast. They said it's like a reboot with, you know, like a, it's a bad reference, but what they're doing was the Saved by the Bell movie. But they got a new cast, and the kids are supposed to look like the original actors like they did back then. I just hope they do it justice. We were actually talking about this last night off the air, that what would be a dope movie is if they show, like, you know, them fighting a monster at the beginning or something like that to kind of introduce them, and then the main villain would be Tommy.
Yeah, I remember talking to this with one of my friends, and we were talking about, okay, the first movie would be just that setup, you know, just like the pilot kind of movie. These kids, and we really get to know them, you know, because in Power Rangers, you didn't really get to know them. You just knew them by whatever their one-dimensional character was.
Yeah, especially if you watch the pilot with the original Yellow Ranger, it just, like, starts, and you're like, who are these niggas?
Exactly. So you know who they are just by what they do. Oh, he's a jock, he's a nerd, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that was the introduction. But we never, in time, some of them you get to know. Like, later down the road, Power Rangers start getting a little bit more deeper into characters, especially if you watch, like, Space or RPM, which I consider one of the best ones. They get real deeper and grittier with the characters and actually have more backstory and blah, blah, blah. But those first Power Rangers was basically, here's some teenagers with attitudes, they got powers, they got to save the world, and then later on you got some kind of backstory, but not a lot. We wanted to know about where, you know, their parents and their bringing and their environment and all that stuff and blah, blah, blah. You know, a little bit deeper, the struggle, you know, Jason, the struggle of Jason being a leader and living up to all that, and you know, you got a little bit of Billy trying to be like everybody else, because Billy was just a nerd and he didn't have any fighting stuff, and you saw as the series continued his progression of being not just a nerd but someone who can fucking defend himself, who actually knew how to fight. Fucking Billy got swole by the time the movie came out.
Oh yeah,
you remember that shit? You didn't want to.
Not only that, like, to find out that there was actually shit with that actor behind the scenes where it was kind of like that with him.
Yeah.
In real life, and so I mean, he came into his own.
Exactly. So that first movie will be like that. That's setting up, introducing the bad guys. Something big happens. They get this. They're not so sure about it, but at the end, they realize they need it, and blah blah. They could go the Avenger route, kill somebody off just to bring them together and have them fucking, you know, fight. It could be dope. And with the new technology, the Zords will look better than the freaking Zords from the first movie.
Shit, yeah. The Zords will be like some fucking Pacific Rim type shit. Like,
yes.
They'd be whooping ass.
But you see, what will be the real spice to that movie is an introduction to a sixth guy who's just there, but shows little foreshadowing of a Ranger to be. You see what I'm saying? And comes that sequel. It's the fucking Green with Evil fucking saga. Bring in the Green Ranger. Make that freaking shit be the whole purpose of make the sequel of the Power Ranger movie be the Dark Knight of that fucking trilogy.
Absolutely. Make it be the fucking, you know, Empire Strikes Back type shit. Like,
yes. Make it be the fucking Star Trek Into Darkness of that trilogy.
Oh. That motherfucker. Whew. But now, like, what you saying about nostalgia? Like, we did an episode about it on my podcast about how that shit can be like a drug. That shit can be addicting. How motherfuckers can get stuck in the past where they just completely exclude anything new because, oh, it's not like the original, or it's not like it was back then. I want to keep it, you know, like how I remember it, like how I was a kid, blah 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 blah. Cats need to move on. I mean, granted, I mean it's if it's bad, it's bad. But I'm not saying you can like shit just to like shit. But you should try it. You should get your feet wet. You know.
Yeah, because nothing's gonna destroy the original source. You know.
Oh no, that's still like yeah. I'll go watch the original Ninja Turtles right now. I'll go watch the first season of Power Rangers right goddamn now.
Yeah.
You know, whatever.
It's like RoboCop, remember? That one came out, and you're like, all right, this is cool, it's good.
I was mad that they even made it, but I still watched that motherfucker.
Yeah.
And it was cool.
It was cool. It was good. And you know what? You end up loving the original even more, you know? And
exactly.
Then you love them both. I was like, dude, I love this new RoboCop. But it reminds me of this old RoboCop, and that RoboCop was the shit. So now you just compare and contrast. You go like, okay, I can see this one, and I can see that one.
Right, but I didn't want to deny myself the possibility that it may be a good movie, and I'm missing out. And that's what these, like, nostalgia addicts be doing. You're denying yourself the possibility of something you may like.
Yeah,
if you don't like it, that's fine. At least you gave it a chance. At least you know, got out of your shell, your little confinement of how shit used to be. I mean, because at the end of the day, you know, shit's gonna change. Shit's gonna happen, and time moves on. And if you know, stuck in the past, then you're gonna be stuck there, and you ain't ever gonna progress.
Mm-hmm.
And you're gonna be some 70-year-old person with a 17-year-old mentality because you never grew up. That doesn't mean that you have to stop liking shit back there, but keep shit going because I don't want to miss out on shit. You know, I didn't want to miss out on the Ninja Turtles, and I'm definitely going to watch the new Power Rangers and the RoboCop, and you know, I'm not as much in the Star Wars as I used to be, but when the new one comes out, fuck yeah, I'm gonna watch it.
Ooh, did you see the Stormtrooper outfits though?
I did.
Oh
the
my
helmet,
god!
Though?
Did you see that helmet?
Oh shit! Shit's going down. I saw Han Solo test outfits.
What?
Like, nigga, that's Harrison Ford, nigga.
I want to see this. I haven't seen this. Oh my god! I heard
pictures of Mark Hamill with a goddamn beard.
Oh, I heard Kevin Smith talking about his little experience stepping inside the Millennium Falcon. Literally stepping inside the Millennium Falcon.
They making this shit like what's old boy the Star Wars or Star Trek?
J.J. Abrams.
Yeah, like he's making it as much as possible real props because they don't want it to be all green screen like some George Lucas bullshit.
You know what's sad? It's sad when it takes someone else who didn't even create the franchise to give it justice from the own creator of the franchise.
Amen. Look at fucking what they did to Watchmen.
Washington?
Watchmen.
Oh, Watchmen.
Washington.
Like, what they did to Washington?
You putting all them syllables in there, nigga? I said 2 goddamn words.
But yeah. What about Watchmen?
It's the same thing. What Zack Snyder did to Watchmen is fucking phenomenal. And shit that the little changes that he did make actually made the story better than the original. And Cass may get mad at me for saying that. But I honestly think, Alan Moore has that whole thing about he won't watch movies based on his comic, but I honestly think he would like it.
He fucking know, because Watchmen is really one of the best comic book movies ever made.
Yeah, it really is. And then for the same cat to be doing, did Man of Steel, and now he's doing Batman vs. Superman, and people hating on that the same way. Oh, this and this is that different, and Ben Affleck, and blah, blah, blah. Shut up, go watch it, because it may be a badass movie.
Oh, that teaser, though?
Look at that. He got the suit.
Oh,
them eyes.
Oh.
I was reading a thing about Kevin Smith shitting on himself about that fucking eyes.
Oh, my God. I am literally going to geek out so hard when I watch that movie. Like, dude, when I saw Man of Steel, Man of Steel. What was that?
Having a Key and Peele moment.
Yeah. When I saw Man of Steel, dude, I was crying, dude. So much joy, so much of the badassery that happened. I mean, I wasn't like bawling crying because, you know, I'm sitting with my boys and shit. Like, yeah, you know, this ain't shit, nigga. It's just Superman. But inside, it's just a kid, and there was literally like smiles on my face and maybe a couple tears coming out because it was so damn good.
I talked about this with you a couple times, but that scene where they're in the basement and he's talking about the stone and the ship and all that. He says, well, you know, can I just go back to being normal and you be my dad? He's like, I am your dad. Nigga, I cry every goddamn time. Oh, he said, can I just go back to being your son? He said, you are my son. I'm like, this motherfucker made me cry.
Them feels and that part that is still, like, I don't know if it was meant, I mean, they made it happen or it's just one of those freaking coincidences, but that moment when you see Christopher Reeve's face.
Oh, shit. It was just a glimpse, but I was like, oh, wow.
That shit, even thinking about it right now, is almost breaking me down because that shit is so freaking powerful and emotional. Because Christopher Reeve will always be Superman. You know, he is the icon of Superman. And, you know, there's been other Supermen after that, but this guy is Superman.
Oh, yeah. And I wish the creator of Arrow and Flash would stop bullshitting and put his shows in the same universe as those so that we can have, you know, cross-promotion and shit.
Yeah, because Marvel knows what they're doing.
They do.
And DC is fucking up.
If they made that one little change and we could have, like, you know, Ben Affleck Batman pop up in an episode of Arrow or Superman or something, like, people would shit on themselves.
Hell yeah.
And then Stephen Amell show up in a Justice League movie. Like,
woo!
Come on.
Because let's face it, that guy's Arrow now. I mean,
he is.
How can you see anybody else being Arrow?
Nah, it's done.
But I guess it could be done because, you know, you had freaking Tom Welling being Superman for like 10 years and then someone else just became Superman. But I don't know.
This is true.
And Tom Welling, well, to me, he was a Superman.
Well, look at Peter Weller. He's all old and shit. He's been doing, you know, stuff for Longmire and Sons of Anarchy. And he's playing like villains and shit now, and he's directing and all this shit. But in my heart of hearts, that nigga's still RoboCop.
Yeah, when you see him in Star Trek Into Darkness, you're like, look at RoboCop fucking up Captain Kirk.
Fucking RoboCop and Captain Kirk. Yeah, and Chris Pine. That's another one now. I see him in other movies. I'm like, nigga, you the new Kirk.
Yeah.
For life. Like, just get over it.
What are you doing in this movie? Stay Captain Kirk.
That's done.
And
first, like, once you see Tom Hardy in other movies outside of Bronson, I'm like, that nigga's still Bronson to me.
And this goes for everybody in Marvel theme. You guys are all gonna be Thor, Iron Man, Captain America.
Yep. That was a thing with Robert Downey Jr. where he was gonna try to get to stop doing Iron Man, and then he finally gave in and signed up for, like, what I heard was like 6 more movies. He just gave in. He was like, "Yeah, I am Iron Man."
He is Iron Man. He is Tony Stark in real life.
Yeah, because he's supposed to be
Stan
in
Lee
this
said
movie.
that.
Yeah.
And I still see him as, I'm like, what is Iron Man doing in the middle of the country?
He's driving around in a car with Zach Galifianakis' fat ass.
I know. and the new cats in town. Chris Pratt is now Peter Quill for the rest of his life.
Oh, done.
He owns Star-Lord. Bautista is Drax from now on. He's not Bautista.
Bautista, though?
Bautista to me.
He was fucking phenomenal in that movie. Like, I'm like, dude, Bautista's actually funny. And he whooped that nigga's ass.
We were cracking up when the ship came in and he's just back there laughing.
Do not call me a thesaurus. There's another one, though.
Yeah.
Another new movie, though, the cats need to see that I just watched it last night, and I was blown away. Expendables 3.
Dude, wasn't it good?
Holy shit! And not only that, it was like an official introduction of Wesley Snipes back into Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
And he did not disappoint.
And Antonio Banderas, man, he
was hilarious.
He did it for me, dude. Like, he made me, like, I was already liking the movie, but once he came in, he made me love the movie.
Done.
He was he stole the show, and
all the banter back and forth between like him and Dolph Lundgren and shit. It was amazing. It's the best one of, I think, all three. I love the original one, the first one, but this is not my new favorite.
This is, dude, and it was those little El Mariachi nods he had, dude.
Let's play.
Yeah, and then, not yet. I was like, oh shit! And then when he was shooting, just crazy and have fun, that was like, dude, you're a desperado right now. It's fucking awesome.
And the joke of Wesley Snipes when they were asking him what he was in prison for, and he said tax evasion. I cried because he was making fun of himself in real life.
Yeah.
A lot of them cats. There's so many jokes like that of like real life stuff with those actors, or stuff between actors and other movies that they've done together. Like when they did the little thing where he's going to find the new Expendables in the different locations, they were doing like homage to different like Stallone movies. There was like Rocky and Cliffhanger and shit like that.
Yeah.
He's even wearing shit like he was wearing something he would have worn Cliffhanger, and then they go to New York. He's dressed like Rocky.
Yeah.
It was like, holy shit, this movie's blowing my mind.
That's what those movies are. Just a big, like, tribute to them and puns, and it's just fun action.
It is. And I hear people hating on that, too. I'm like, just go watch it. Like, I've not liked any of those. Like, I love all three of those movies, and I can't wait for more.
Especially when Antonio Banderas, give me Expendable 4.
I need that girl back, though. The UFC chick.
Ronda Rousey? Shit, it'll be crazy if they get Ronda Rousey versus Gina Carano in the next one.
I'll marry both of them. Both.
Dude, when it was set in stone that Antonio Banderas is an expendable, I was like, that's it. Give me part 4 right now, next week.
I don't even need. And not only that, we were joking around. I saw it with a friend, and that opening scene, it's maybe 5 minutes or so. That they could have done that. That could have been the movie, and then credits, and I still would have watched the next one. Like, done. This is fucking amazing.
Dude, it was them versus evil Riggs from Lethal Weapon.
Yeah, and Mel Gibson was so Joker-esque in that movie, and that also made it so fucking amazing.
Yeah. It's surprising, they get these guys to play bad guys and they do really well. Like Van Damme in the second one.
Oh man, he blew my mind because I was like, I never seen Van Damme do a villain, and he was fucking dope as shit.
He was so villain.
So evil. Like.
He was. Dude, he killed Thor's younger brother.
He did.
With a knife to the chest, but no, not just a knife. He kicked the knife to the chest.
That was ridiculous. Like,
wow.
Just rubbed it in.
And if I just spoiled it for people, then what the fuck, man? You should have saw Expendables 2 by now.
If you ain't seen Expendables 2 by now, punch yourself in the tank.
That's yes. So go see TMNT and Expendables 2 and 3.
And Guardians, if you ain't seen
Guardians. See it now. Please.
My nigga Groot.
Ticket sales.
Yup, 20,000 more views just by saying Guardians.
And that soundtrack
became #1 on the billboards.
and the charts. That was fucking amazing.
And that's like old as shit. And you know what, God? This running out of time. I'm gonna have to get more time on this bitch.
Hey, yo, building.
But I'd like to thank Gorilla Joe for being here.
Anytime.
Thank you for talking with me and fucking geeking out over TMNT, because I been wanting to geek out over this movie with your ass like crazy.
All day.
All day, all night. Thank you, Scarlett, for joining us as well.
Just here for moral support.
Thank you. As she works on her Nightwing costume, look for that soon. And
she's a muse.
Yeah. Catch you guys next Saturday, 11 p.m. Overtime with Nas.